everybody, another message through YouTube. Hi Ali, I really appreciate your video, your channel. I am hoping that you can give me some advice. I have no contact with my narc mother, golden child narc brother. So much like Precious, it's ridiculous. And my narc ex-husband, his narc nest family for several years. 3 years after our divorce was finalized, my narc ex-husband fled the state with our youngest son during a scheduled visitation, leaving his narc lawyer behind to secure a custody order for our kids and restraining orders against me. They didn't think I was able to fight back. I had been worn down by 3 years of divorce BS at that point and had given in basically to every financial demand they'd made. But when they went for my sons, I woke up. I flew to the state where my ex had my son and filed for custody. I didn't have money for a lawyer, but worked for years in the legal field while putting myself through college, so I had enough knowledge to look up the law, etc. I flew to the other state, represented myself, and after 3 days of the most horrendous smear campaign you can imagine, the narcs lost. My ex, whose mommy had paid over 10 grand for that lawyer to take our children, was ordered to return our youngest son for me. It was a victory, no doubt, but we were all severely damaged from these events, obviously. My oldest, at 17 at the time, was diagnosed with elevated blood pressure and elevated resting heart rate at the age of 17 while his brother was gone, and later with PTSD. I underwent 8 months of treatment for PTSD last year, and although my youngest was eventually returned to me and his brother, 2 months with his narc father rendered my once gregarious, silly son silent. He didn't speak for nearly 6 months. It's taken us 3 years, but we have slowly come out of that haze. My oldest is doing better health-wise, and my youngest is now a freshman in high school, doing great in school with friends and a happy life. And although things are better, like I mentioned before, we are all different people after that experience. My question results from this. After the narc and his family lost their custody grab attempt, every last one of them discarded our sons immediately. That's because it wasn't about the kids, it was about punishing you. Narcissists will use anything at their disposal to hurt you with, whether it's money or children or other family members, so be it. Once it's clear to them they've lost the battle, they're done. They walk away, they give up, and you see their true colors, which goes to show you when these narcissists lose in court, you see what their true intention was. No more phone calls, no more acknowledgement of birthdays, Christmas, nothing. Within 3 months of losing the custody bid, my ex and his new wife hired a surrogate and had a replacement baby in their mid-40s. When I hear about other people who have continually deal with their narc exes, I feel fortunate that I don't deal with that any longer. But I'm worried for my kids. We really don't have anyone else. I grew up with extremely disordered parents. My father is a narc paroled sex offender. My mother is bipolar, sadistic narc. So I am no contact with my family, have been for 8 years. After the narc and his families failed custody grab attempt, my sons have had no contact with any members of my ex-husband's family, father, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, no contact for over 3 years. It's just the three of us. The irony is not lost on me. I married my ex-husband in part because he was part of a large Italian family. I wanted my children to have what I never had growing up. I was very isolated by my narc mother from the few relatives we did have. However, when I married, I didn't know about narcissism. I didn't know I was marrying into a family of narcs. So marrying into a large family for the children, I would have someday has resulted in my children ending up with no one but me and each other. It is a lonely existence. I mean, me and my wife basically have each other, and that's it, because we're both no contact from our narcissist family. And that's our reality, and the loneliness sucks, but it's better than the abuse. I am seriously paranoid what will happen to my sons when I'm gone. Should something happen to me while they're still young? I'm worried about my sons not having a father, uncle, a grandfather in their lives. My oldest fills that role pretty well for his brother, but what about him? I am consumed by guilt, but what is the alternative? Staying with the narc? No. Our quality of life is so much better. We are all so much healthier. I accept that. But I'm having a really hard time dealing with the guilt of the mistakes that I've made that have basically rendered my sons without a family. Any suggestions, you or other viewers, would greatly be appreciated. Thanks, Ollie. Well, you're not to blame for it. You haven't rendered anything. You're not to blame for any of this. Your ex-husband is the one who's making the decision to have no contact with his children. That's not your fault. You haven't rendered this. You didn't make your father a sex offender and your mother a bipolar narcissist. You're not responsible for any of this. So stop blaming yourself. You've done the best you can in the cards with the cards you've been dealt. You've done an excellent job, being that, you flew to another state, fought for your kid without a lawyer, and won. And won. Give yourself credit. And don't think your oldest son hasn't picked up on you of how to be strong and how to fight. Now, yeah, that is a very scary prospect. If God forbid something were to happen to you, what would happen to your children? I don't know. I don't know, because you can't trust them with any of these people. That's for damn sure. That's for damn sure. Your ex-husband never loved your son. Never loved either son. That's evidenced by as soon as he couldn't use them to hurt you and deprive you of their love, he wanted nothing more to do with them again. And they were easily replaced like you would replace a pet. What I would do is I would make sure that I've had some kind of trust set up, some kind of equity. I don't know what your financial situation is. So like their college or whatever they want to do is taken care of. Now your oldest son is going to be an adult soon. So legally he could be responsible for the younger. And as much as that is to take on for somebody at that age, it's a better alternative. It's a better alternative if you're able to leave them with some money, a house, something, and be able to prepare them for the reality of what our family is, what our family's about. The last thing you want to have happen is, God forbid, something happens and then they have to go crawling back and begging and either get rejected by his father and his family, or God forbid, get taken in by them and then have their lives destroyed through their narcissistic tactics. You need to prepare both of your sons, and I don't know what your health is like, if you're just, if this is just a what-if situation that, based on everything you've gone through, you're just really, really nervous, because when you realize you're all alone and you realize you very limited people that you can depend on and you have in your life, something like this, it would be terrifying. If God forbid something happens. I mean, I don't know if maybe you have friends, or like maybe a friend that you could, say you would want to take care of your youngest son. I just don't know. If you don't have any of that, unfortunately, you really need to be able to prepare your oldest son, to pick up the ball. And being that you're his mom, I bet he can do it. As unfair as it is. But as unfair as it is, it's not your fault. It's the fault of your ex-husband. It's the fault of his family. Because he could still have a very open and loving and communicative relationship with him, but he chooses not to because he can't use them to hurt you. Once the narcissist loses in court and they realize there's nothing else they can get, they can't use these kids, or they can't use whatever they're trying to use against you, they're going to disappear and you're going to see their true colors. So I hope that helps. Congratulations, at least, for being able to pull off what you pulled off, being able to go to another state and win in court against a family of narcissists. That's very difficult to do, but you did it. But don't blame yourself. None of this is your fault. None of this. So thank you for your story. I really appreciate it. I really hope this works out. Make sure you do the best to take care of your health, whether you're working out, going to the gym, eating right, because it is important, because you are all those kids have. And you really do need to make sure you're doing everything on your end to make sure you are around for a long time. And that's the best you really can do. But thank you again for your story. And thank you everybody who was watching. And again, if you enjoy this channel, please consider making a contribution to the GoFundMe link in the description box. And remember, if you do make a contribution of any size and you want your story made into a video, you immediately go to the top of the list and I make you a video. This is Ollie Matthews. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all again soon. Bye.